the Bronco, Radio. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. Playing all the hits, you can listen to. Live and direct from FSU. Homie, we on. Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. Welcome to a new era of the radio. So go ahead and cool out to the sounds of your favorite show. Attitude check, Bronco pride. Turn on your computer and just vibe. And you know how we do, run by the students, so it's all about you. And send your requests, we will get them on for you, that's a bet. And keep you in the know, the information given throughout the show. Take time to listen. Tell your friends. If they don't believe it, let them know again. Yeah. Catch the sensation. Turn to the new #1 station. Yeah. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. Playing all the hits, you can listen to. Live and direct from FSU. Homie, Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning.
It's Wednesday afternoon.
I know you've been waiting a long time for this.
Right.
It's here now, so gonna testify.
Amen.
You're listening to a great ghost voice. It's here now, ready, your waves electrify.
Hey, Chris, turn me up, man. Let me rock out. It's 12 p.m. That means it's time for the RTBS and the intern. So look.
I know you waited and contemplated and conversated on how this show was your favorite, and plus you obligated to only feel what's real coming out your devices. This show is too darn good, man. Show me some license. The RayTHOMAS variety show is what you hearing. With loose silly interns, a lot of commission. With talents gifted to be Pacific, just take a listen. I bet you feel it before you hear it. It's what you missing. The RayTHOMAS variety show. It's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayTHOMAS variety show. It's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayTHOMAS variety show. It's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayTHOMAS variety show. It's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go.
Yes, and we say good afternoon to you. I'm He That Is Him. It's the heavyweight RayTHOMAS. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you didn't know, the name of the program is the RayTHOMAS Variety Show Live, and I happen to be that guy. Ding, 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 y'all. Let me get a big ding on that. Yeah, here we go. All right. What's that dance called, Tonya?
That's just like the grandma swing.
The grandma swing?
Okay. Grandma swing. I'm a grandmother. That's how,
okay.
That's how I
the
get
grandma,
down.
The grandma swing, huh? Okay. All right, grandma swing.
I just named it.
All right.
I just named it.
By the way, if you are tuning in globally, it is 49 after the hour. If you're actually on the East Coast, it is 12:49, just to be exact, because that's where we emanate from. Historic Fayetteville State University, and we are on the East Coast, but we are down south. You like how I put all that together?
You did. You forgot you were proud to be, but I'm.
And we are
proud to be.
Proud to be. Hold on, wait a minute. A ding for that intern, a ding for that intern, a ding for that intern. Like y'all don't know the phrases? Come on now. Don't let Tonya know the phrases before you guys know, and you guys actually go to school here at Fayetteville State University. I'm like, man, wow. All right. So welcome to the program. And newbie on the scene, before I introduce our co-host, newbie on the scene. When I say newbie, that means we have the intern. Drum
roll. We need a drum roll. Hold on. I need another pen. Hold
no,
on.
Nobody can bang on the counter, so nobody's going to bang on the counter. You're not going to get a drum.
Stand by.
Can you hit? You were not in band.
I was not.
Why did that sound like your car? So we have a newbie on the scene, and I haven't even put his name into the system yet. Man, see, that's what happens when you have to.
That's how new he is.
Yeah, because
he's so new, we don't even have him in the system.
Let me tell you, folks, there is so much preparation that goes into this program before we go live that you guys just don't understand. And see, everybody else gets to chill out. Well, Tonya, she does the first part of it, and then she forwards it to me, and then I got to do the second part of it. Whose phone was that?
Uh-oh.
Really? See, our early guest is here. I'm going to give him a big A ding. That's for Dante Elliott, y'all. You can't see him. Mr. Big Chop is in the building, but we'll be talking with Mr. Big Chop momentarily. Yes, indeed. Think he cute. You think he fine now. His son say, oh, now you look like Brandon. His son called him his government name. I'm like, that's daddy to you, boy. All right. So anyways, and on behalf of our upcoming guest, you see I'm rocking his clothing line, Be Fat. Black fathers are there. Yes, we are. I am a godfather.
That's awesome. I want one of those shirts.
Oh, you do? Okay, so I'll let Dante know. Dante can actually put the headphones on and he can actually hear. You know, you can sit right there, Dante, and we can't see you on camera. Except for Altwan, you know, looking at you. What's Altwan looking at? Speaking about Altwan, who are you?
I am Altwan Andrews, of course. You just said my name.
It's your first ding.
Yeah.
There it is. Your first ding.
I am a senior here at Fayetteville State University.
To your second ding.
Wow.
Who are you?
Altwan Andrews.
Yeah, your third ding.
The intern.
The intern.
On RayTHOMAS Variety Show.
No. Hold on. Let a seasoned intern show you how it's done.
Okay.
You are
the intern, Ebony Lawson.
Okay.
You're gonna learn today. And you are
the intern, Altwan Andrews.
Hallelujah. And also over there in Zamunda, you are
the intern, Sherelle Anderson,
aka Rebel. Yes, indeed. So be proud when you get a nickname from me, okay? So that's like a term of endearment. All right. So don't be all defensive. I don't know why he called me Rebel.
I know, but what's my nickname? You've never given me a nickname.
Yes.
So
Hold on. I'm about to tell the entire world what your nickname is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host. She is a three-time Emmy Award-winning producer, director, writer, documentarian, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt. Hold on, my music's running out. Let me play some more music. And she is my co-host with the most, and she is Tonya McGrath, aka Tonya with the Good Light. See, that's your nickname.
That's right, Tonya with the Good Light.
Yeah,
yes,
see?
Yes, I see.
Come on, T.
All right.
Man.
Good afternoon. I am so excited. I'm excited that we have Altwan in the building. I'm gonna mess up your name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and tell the whole world about how you really sent out the email and what you really called them.
So yeah, I was having a problem reading yesterday, and Ray brought that to my attention in the most eloquent of ways. Like, girl, you spelled his name wrong. How come you spelled his name wrong? That ain't his name. You gotta resend the email.
Hold on. Why do I sound angry when I'm conveying that message though? I wasn't angry. There was no anger.
It felt angry.
See how things can be misconstrued just because of your delivery? Because I was not angry. I'm like, hey, his name is not Altwood, but it's Altwan.
Now you all know this man here. He didn't say it that way.
I did. I said his name is not Altwood.
What's wrong with you?
It's not
Crazy.
Altwood.
I get Altwood or Altwood, all of that every time. Like coming up in middle school, high school, people had to correct my name a lot. I had to correct my name for them a lot.
I told her, I said it's Altwan and the D is silent. I did say that, right?
You did say that.
She's like, what?
You did say that.
She's like, what kind of country name is that?
I never said that.
He from the country.
I never said that.
He can embrace that. He's from the country.
And this has always been a pet peeve of mine, so let me just address this right now.
Okay.
This is not directed at you, Altwan. This is directed with anybody that has a name that has a silent letter in it. Then why?
It's like Django.
Just why?
The D is silent.
The D is silent.
The Django. No. It's just Django.
But it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's all
But
good.
anyways.
It's all
But
good.
I didn't want to make this. But anyways, Altwan, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you on the show.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Sherelle in a couple of weeks, but she has been there in the background, and I'm so glad that I'm so happy that I'm working with Sherelle. We're doing some stuff behind the scenes that no one will know about, but you'll see it. You'll see it coming to fruition soon.
Hey, Tonya,
Yes,
let me say this.
and-
Let me say this. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm watching the interns, right? and all the interns are watching themselves on their own little cameras.
I'm watching
You guys are
Tonya 'cause I've never seen
you guys
that
are
before.
so
Make sure the
vain.
shots right.
You guys are so vain. I'm just saying. I just want to put it out there so the whole world will know that you see how I'm making eye contact, global peeps. I'm connecting with y'all, but they're all in their phones like, oh, I kind of look. Oh shit, hold on, wait a minute now. Check my. I'm like, Ebony's like trying to be sly and because she's tall, right? But you can see the eyes beaming straight down at her phone, and then Sherelle all side viewing her laptop over there, and Altuan just straight up into his lap. He's like, yeah, Dad, I do look good. I do look warm too. Tony said that Altuan looks warm, ladies and gentlemen.
It's cold
He
outside,
does.
man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you're inside.
I am, man.
So you saying it's cold in here too?
Not really. It is a little, toasty.
It can get a little
Okay.
chilly.
You guys
But it can be
concur?
very chilly.
Well, let me tell you why that it's chilly in here, because we have all this equipment and we have to keep the equipment cool. So it usually
true.
needs to be
That's why
about
my
at
office
least
is
69
freezing.
degrees in the studio. So yeah, remember before we had no air. So be glad that we do have the air, because
Absolutely.
before it would be a sauna in here, and then you guys would be like, oh yeah, Mr. Thomas, I got class, I can't make it. It was hot up in here like a steam room. Yes, indeed. All right. Okay, so we're also expecting the other intern, Kiara West, who usually has class, and if she can make it, she'll be here, and then we'll show her face later on. But Tonya, it's time for us to get into your favorite segment of the show, and this is the part where we really put the interns to the test and hold them to
Yes.
task. Yes, indeed. Go ahead, crack that whip, girl. I need to get a whip sound effect. Yes, indeed.
All right. Do I get my intro music or am I going right
yeah,
into
that's
it?
right. No, I got you covered, girl. Yeah.
Are you ready?
News now.
That's the news music.
I hate gossip.
News now.
Are you ready?
News now. News now.
It's on your radio right now.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't Flavor Flav either. So we have copyrights for that sample. All right, Tonya, time for news now. Let's get into
First
it.
of all, I just want to shout out to a couple of our listeners on Facebook right now. Carla Foster says, hey, y'all. Hello, Carla.
What's
Thanks
up?
for
What's up, big
joining
homie?
us today.
What's up, big
and
homie?
Then D. Dowdy called you the GOAT. The GOAT. So we're just the crew. So,
Why do people attempt to motion me like to the other studio while I'm doing my show? It doesn't work like that,
I
Joy.
don't know.
Joy Cena. So no,
I don't know. But anyways, let's get into it because I want to get to our guest today. Dante is our guest today in the studio. I'm so excited to talk
He
to
has
him.
nowhere to be,
He's got
Tonya.
a lot of stuff to talk to him
He has
about.
nowhere to be except for you have someplace to be. So we know that you're
I
on
do.
borrowed time. All right.
I do. So anyways, we're going to start with some great news, particularly if you have children between the ages of 5 and 11. The CDC has approved the vaccine, the COVID vaccine for children 5 to 11. They can now get their, go to their pediatrician or clinic to get their vaccine. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky signed off on the recommendation late last night. So vaccine clinics, children's hospitals, pediatrician offices across the country are receiving shipments of Pfizer's one-third of the, it's like one-third of the size of the adult vaccine for children. And they are ready to put those in the shots in the arm, put the shots in the arms of children 5 to 11.
Wow, you're like really elated about this, aren't you?
I am excited. You know why? Because, us, okay, so I know that we have a couple of mothers here, and they're probably mothers listening, and we know that these children are just little germ magnets. They
sure are.
just like, they lick everything, they touch everything. You want them to wash their hands, they give you a hard time, and you just don't understand some of the stuff that they do with their tiny little lives.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And it saves
but
trips to
this
the
is
ER.
just going to be...
Gosh.
Sorry, Ebony, I cut you off.
It's
Go ahead,
okay.
hon.
No, I was saying it saves trips to the ER. I've been to the ER probably like 5 times because you're scared that the kids are have COVID because you don't know whether it's a regular cold, you don't know if it's the flu, you don't know nothing. So this shot is awesome. I'm like ready to go stick him in his arm. I wish they would do it in school though.
Yeah, I wish you would stop banging the counter too. How about that, Debbie? Banging the counter, making her point. Boom. Every time you bang the counter, you get a ding.
But it's very exciting for parents that have young children. Now, of course, children under 5, they're still at risk. They can still carry the virus. They can also still give it to adults. But this is a huge step because we know 5-year-olds, that's usually the beginning of school time, elementary school time. So now basically anywhere from kindergarten to high school, you have the ability to protect your child. So please go and do the right thing. This isn't about what you feel. This is about protecting your child. And then your child, because this is the other part to it. So say you have a 5 to 11-year-old who develops COVID, maybe has no symptoms. Maybe is just feeling as fine as dandy as my stepson did when he had COVID last summer. But the difference is that then he can go sit on grandma's lap or grandpa's lap or somebody that has a compromised immune system, and that can cause a deadly result. So do the right thing. Get your kids vaccinated, 5 to 11-year-old. I'm very, very excited about this.
You just had a Spike Lee phrase right there. Do the right thing. You go ahead and
do the right thing.
Yes, sir.
Do your job.
Radio Tonya.
That's Bill Belichick.
As in Radio Raheem, but Radio Tonya. Did you get that reference? Okay, never mind.
I did.
Yeah. Only old school people.
Do we have any Atlanta Braves fans in the house today? Woo! No?
I don't know, do we?
Okay.
I was just checking. Hold on, let me go ahead and run that video there. Go ahead. Let's talk about
Atlanta Braves have won their first World Series title since 1995, defeating the Houston Astros in Game 6 last night. The Braves
the 0-2.
4 games to 2 behind Swanson.
Left side, Swanson.
To
first. The Braves are world champions.
Thousands of fans flocked to the Braves Stadium and watched the game. They're so happy that they won the championship. Now, I'm not a huge baseball fan per se, but I always watch the playoffs. I always watch the championship games because to me that's the most exciting thing that happens. My life is just a little bit too busy to watch it every single night because there's way too many baseball games, but that's a whole other story. But go Atlanta. Go Atlanta. I'm so excited for the city of Atlanta. We can talk about the team itself. That's one thing.
At 10:23 Central Time, Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021, the Atlanta Braves have officially overcome all obstacles that were put in front of them.
I'm so happy. I hope that
and they are world champions, winning it in 6 and delivering Atlanta their second championship.
Pretty
incredible. Every one of those players seems like they contributed. It's really a total team
Oh yeah,
effort.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And soul of the organization.
Was that my New England Patriots that took that? Okay, yeah.
Are you in New England? You in New England?
I'm from New England.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Snicker, I'm sure he's looking for his.
So you're a Celtics fan, right?
Can't find her.
I'm just a player fan.
It's hard
but
to
I'm saying
explain,
if my home team is going against opposition, I'm going for my home team. That's where I'm from. You know what I mean? But if they're not in it, then I'm about the player. So yeah. But they call Massachusetts title town.
Gets the win.
Really?
Just in case nobody knows. Yeah, from all sports.
4 hits.
All
then
sports.
Matzik.
We just win rings.
Smith able to finish it out.
With the Lord of the Rings. Yes, indeed. All right, and speaking about Atlanta as well too. So not only is it going to be a boost to the economy, but also I gotta say a big congratulations though to our franchise team, because here in Fayetteville we are the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, and we are an affiliate of the Houston Astros. So it was definitely an accomplishment for them to make it back to the World Series after the stuff that happened in the past in regards to the Spygate and stuff like that, or the cheating scandal and all that. I said Spygate because that was a New England thing. My bad. Yeah. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah. And then that guy right there that you can see on the screen, Mr. Solar, he's probably going to be the MVP of the series as well too. So he had a great championship run right there. So congratulations to the Atlanta Braves It's first championship since 1995. Yeah, long time.
And they were so excited. It's just, I just get goosebumps. I'm so excited to see, you know.
And a franchise that won it in 1914 in Boston, 1957 in Milwaukee.
You can bring it home.
It's now won it in Atlanta in 1995.
Can't give them short
in 2021.
They made it to the big game.
Let's go down to Ken Rosen.
You know, so, but Houston, I'm sorry, Atlanta goes the victor.
Yes, indeed.
So,
and big shout outs to Minute Maid Field, too. Shameless plug. Just promoting the home team. Yes, indeed. And Woodpeckers, go Woodpeckers. Attaboy.
All right. Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. All right. So now this is the last segment of News Now where we are bringing in the interns to talk about election night results. And we are going to start with the intern, Sherelle Anderson.
Yes, ma'am. This is Sherelle Anderson, and I'm going to talk to you about the Boston historic mayoral race. And as you know, Boston has a track record of having white males as the mayor, right? But today it is a historical moment for Boston as Michelle Wu, who is the
woo woo woo.
Yes.
Woo 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 woo. Oh, I'm sorry, Sherelle.
She is the first Asian American and woman of color to be elected mayor of Boston over Anissa George, winning over 64% of the votes.
Okay.
Now, I do want to add.
Which is huge.
Yes, that's very huge. That's
win.
different. It's a woman and a person of color in office right now. So
that's great.
But I do want to add that back in March of this year, Marty Walsh has stepped down as the mayor of Boston to pursue Secretary of Labor in Washington, D.C., and this led to Kim Janey becoming the first African-American acting mayor in Boston. Now, Michelle Wu has many plans for Boston that focuses on equity for all families by closing the racial wealth gap, and she is expected to take office in 2 weeks, you guys. So.
Can you woo woo woo? Can you Michelle woo woo woo? I'm just saying. Go on, Michelle. All right.
So excellent job, Sherelle. So, and again, just to just talk about the significance. Boston has had a very long and hard history of racial tension and just minority misrepresentation when it comes to the political offices. Of course, we had Governor Deval Patrick, who served as governor for 8 years. But when it comes to we know the saying that all politics is local, and so to have somebody from the city of Boston, woman, number one, so just kudos to that. Let's break that glass ceiling. And
go ahead, break it.
Woman of color.
Let's break it and bell it, ring it.
Yeah, let's break that.
Yes,
that ceiling has been broken in Boston. Yes. So, and Michelle is going to be, I should say, Mayor-elect Wu is going to be. She's going to have a lot of challenges. There's still a lot of challenges in Boston. There's still a lot of cases of unaffordable housing and racial disparities, and the school district is kind of up in it's just not as great as it needs to be. So anyway, so we are going to pray and hope the best for Mayor-elect Michelle Wu. Great job, Sherelle. Thank you for that report.
All right,
Yes,
Sherelle.
ma'am.
Hold on, before we go to our next, the intern and their assignment, there's things that happen here locally as well too. So I wanted to make sure that we address that, because a friend of the program who used to have a segment right here on the RTVS Live, Miss Kia Anthony, is now Mayor-elect Kia Anthony of Spring Lake. So congratulations. Kia Anthony.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Kia.
Yes, indeed. The Just Cactus woman, you can see the Just Cactus right behind Ebony over there on Ebony's cameras. Yeah, you see the Just Cactus
I'm
in
going
the
to have
screen.
to get her on the podcast. That is
Yes,
awesome.
indeed. Yeah, definitely. So,
I love
and
Kia.
she's an African-American woman. So, yes, and former military, business owner as well, so community activist. So go on, Kia. She did that. We'll definitely have to have her on the program as well, too, because big things are on the way for Spring Lake as well, because, she's definitely going to get it back on the upswing, because, they've been going through some stuff in Spring Lake, North Carolina. Yes, indeed. All right, I just wanted to put that in there, Tonya.
Well, I'm glad you did. So, up next, And give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Ebony. All right.
That's a little thumb. Her thumb is like look broke. Her thumb look broke. Got a broke thumb. Okay, man.
Up next, the intern Ebony is going to give us a report on the Virginia governor's race. Go ahead, Ebony.
Thank you for that. So for Virginia, they did have an election last night. We had Republican Glenn Youngkin, and he was running against Terry McAuliffe. I don't know if I said that correct, but yes. So they have been Democrat for a while, and so for more than a decade. So with Glenn Youngkin, he did win the Republican seat last night. So he prided himself on not being like Trump without saying he wasn't like Trump. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that turns out once he gets into office. The percentile was 50.7%. That's with Youngkin, and then McAuliffe, he had 48.6%.
Okay. Youngkin, huh?
Youngkin.
I wonder if he had any relation to Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts. He should open a donut shop.
So, and the other thing I just want to add to that is that they're really saying that, because everyone thought that Terry McAuliffe was going to be a shoo-in, right? Because Virginia is such a Democratic state. President Biden won that state in last year's election. So they really kind of thought of it as a shoo-in. But I think this is a referendum on what we're seeing the Democrats not being able to get done in the Senate. It's a Democratic-controlled Senate, but things aren't getting done. And I think people are getting frustrated with just the lack of push on either Biden's initiatives or some of the initiatives that were there that they promised us by, if they were able to take control of the Senate, that we would be able to push some of these initiatives. We know that the infrastructure bill has been tied up for like several weeks now. And so these are the type of things that I think are starting to speak volumes when it comes to these midterm elections. So we will keep an eye on that. Ebony, thank you so much for that report. That was fantastic.
Oh, 2 for 2.
Now, Altuan is going to give us a look of what happened in Minneapolis.
Yes, ma'am. So basically in Minneapolis, voters reject a measure to replace the city's police department. Voters in Minneapolis have resoundingly rejected a proposal to reinvent policing in their city, 17 months after the killing of George Floyd by police. Approximately 57% of voters rejected a ballot question that would have removed Minneapolis Police Department from the city charter and replaced it with a public health-oriented Department of Public Safety. So pretty much what you have going on in Minneapolis, people, like I said before, pretty much declined the moving of a public health orientation being in place of the pretty much police department that's currently in Minneapolis right now. And I feel like personally the turnout and reaction by the people was like more so scared than more so than anything else. I don't think they don't want policing, but I feel like the way that policing is in Minneapolis is more so the problem than more so anything else.
Yeah, they definitely have to. It's just like whenever you hear defund the police, it's not necessarily saying that people don't want policing.
Right.
Defunding means is to repurpose and reallocate some of those funds in regards to they're buying tanks and armors, so they're becoming a militia as opposed to actually being a police force. So it's just.
In addition to that, it's also the funding that a lot of people are asking on these particular ballot questions is that money goes towards mental health experts to be part of the police department. So that's where your public health department comes in, because that's where your mental health experts are. So when you come up to someone who may not seem like they are in the right state of mind, before you draw your guns, you get them some help. And so, but thank you for that, Altuan, because it is significant. This was like the first major ballot initiative since the death of George Floyd. And there was a lot of talk that perhaps this was going to go in the way of defunding the police, but as you reported, and thank you so much for that report, that voters are saying that we're going to keep everything the way it is right now.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for that. So I know that Kiara's not in the building, so I'm going to take Kiara's message, and you guys will learn that sometimes if someone doesn't show up, you may have to jump in and do this. So Democratic Eric Adams has been elected the 110th mayor of New York. He had defeated Republican nominee Curtis Lewa. Adams is a retired New York Police Department captain. He embraces public safety. He will be only the second black mayor in the city's history. And can anybody remember who the first black mayor of New York was?
Dinkins.
Yes.
Ray Thomas knows people, and people know
And
Ray
people
Thomas.
know Ray Thomas.
Thank you, Tonya.
Yes.
I thought the interns would have
So-
echoed that, but
People
obviously they
definitely know
didn't.
Ray Thomas.
Hold on, three dings for all three of y'all that didn't know, and also one for Dante. You could have said it from afar. He said in his head. He said, "Okay, all right, okay." We didn't have a photo of the mayor, did we?
I may have forgot to send it.
Okay,
to you.
I just want
I'm
to
sorry.
make sure. So, yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I had something.
So,
that could
anyways, he's
represent
a
New York.
Brooklyn native. He currently serves as a borough president, and it was a chaotic Democratic race this summer. There was a lot of back and forth, particularly over issues of rising crime in the city, public safety regarding the COVID pandemic. But he is our. I don't live in New York. Sorry, Eric Adams is the new mayor-elect for the city of New York. Now, de Blasio, who is the outgoing mayor, is possibly seeking an election for governor of New
governorship.
York. Now we know that disgraced governor Cuomo was ousted amid allegations of sexual misconduct with several of his staff members. So there is talk that maybe de Blasio will make a run for governor. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
And de
So,
Blasio was actually
hey,
from our hometown of Massachusetts at one point, right?
I think his wife was. I think his wife is from Massachusetts. But I'm going to look that up.
He has some New England ties. Just know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you woo woo woo?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. He was born in Manhattan, and he was raised in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
I'm just saying.
So
Where we from?
we're from the bridge.
That's right.
We're from the bridge.
He's just the
So
kid
anyways,
from the bridge.
hey, I want some congratulatory dings for the interns for this news report. This news
Wasn't all that,
Thank you all
Tonya.
so much for
Wasn't
helping me with
wasn't
that.
all
You guys
that,
are
Tonya. Wasn't all that. Hey, don't
What?
don't be
They
directing.
got the assignment last night.
Don't be
They
don't be
knocked it out
directing the
park.
dings, Tonya. There's only one dinger here. One controller of the dings.
One dinger. You heard him say it, right? One dinger.
That's right. There's only one dinger up in here. I'm the king ding.
I can't.
And do not take that out of context. Yeah, you the ding-a-ling. As Joy from the production studio nods in agreement. Yo, mama. About that, Joy. I hope her mama's not listening because she always calls me whenever she hears me say that. But you know Joy has big hands. That's why I call her Joy Cena. Look at them hands, y'all. Look at that window. Look at those hands. Them man hands right there. That's why she's the number 2 racquetball player in all of North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. Girls qualified. Hands like that, it's like Roberto Duran. Hands of stone. Go on, Joy. Every time she hears a bell, she thinks she's in a fight. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, back to you, Tonya. I
No,
was
we're
distracted.
done. We're ready to move on to segment 2.
Okay, so we're going to take a pause for the cause, and then we're going to come back with our guest. He got new hair, and he don't care. He just had the big chop. Yes, indeed. Dante Elliott of Vivid Culture Media Productions is in the building, and he's going to be sharing his story as well as some of some of the great things that he loves to do as well too. So stick around. I would take Sherelle's camera, and then let me see if I can work it real quick. There he is. Y'all see him? Look at Dante. Look at that. Got that new hair. Yeah. Bend your head down so people can see the new cut. Yes, indeed. He had the big chop, y'all, because just a couple days ago he had like twists and all that kind of good stuff. And Sherelle's like, "Can I get my camera back?" Of course you can, Sherelle. There you go.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we're gonna move Altuan over to Namunda because Sherelle's in Zamunda. and then we're gonna put Dante up in the guest host seat. So stick around. We'll be right back with segment number 2 of the program. So don't you dare go anywhere. That's what they like to say on the bottom line. And then they take a whole hour to find a song. But we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna play you guys a little something from one of our independent artists. New music from Steve Dalton and Leviticus Charlotte. They were here last week. We had a listening party with them. So I figured I'd rock their new single. This one's called For My Good, and it's charting right now. So we'll be right back.
couldn't just stop it like that. Till the battle is over. Bring it back.
Would you like to be a guest on the Ray Thomas Variety Show? Email gm@broncoiradio.com with your information, because you know Ray Thomas knows people and people know Ray Thomas.
It's the Bronco iRadio. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon and in the morning. Playing all the hits for you to listen to. Live and direct from FSU. Homie, we on. Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon and in the morning. Welcome to a new era. attitude check, Bronco pride. Turn on your computer and just vibe. And you know how we do, run by the students, so it's all about you. Send your requests, we will get them all for you, that's a bet. And keep you in the know, the information given throughout the show. Take time to listen, tell your friends. If they don't believe it, let them know again. Yeah. Catch the sensation, turn to the new #1 station. Yeah. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. Cause we on, listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. Playing all the hits, be easy to listen to. Live is right from FX to you. Homie, we on, shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning.
It's Wednesday afternoon.
Beat that beat up. Beat that beat up.
Ray Thomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous Ray Thomas Variety Show. Ray Thomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous Ray Thomas Variety Show.
If you've been listening to the same old hand-me-down lame-old radio show, check my man Ray flow. They go Bronx for this, Bronx up in this, North Cac, South Cac, where you at? It don't matter, matter of fact, all states, cities, towns, and districts is talking about Ray Thomas. He up on their lips like lipsticks. Lipsticks are clueless. How we do this smoothly? How we walk you through this? Q. If you asking who this 2468, who do we appreciate? R-A-Y on your R-A-D-I-O. Yo, it's the Ray Thomas V-A-R-I-E-T-Y show.
Ray Thomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous Ray Thomas Variety Show. Ray Thomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous Ray Thomas Variety Show.
Hold on, let me pause my nephew. Pause, David. Pause. Play this song. Okay, yeah. All right. Whew. Man, you see how I had to rush to get everybody on? What do you mean? Are we missing someone? Who are we missing?
Where's Sherelle?
Hold on, we coming, Tonya. Can I do what I'm doing first?
I'm sorry.
Man.
Hey, Kiara.
Hey, Tonya.
She all yet. Don't say Kiara yet. Come on,
Okay.
T. Let me do what I'm doing. Man.
Sorry. Jeez.
Who passed gas? Hold on, somebody passed gas. Who was that? Was that you, Dante?
Nope.
No.
I heard it though.
Somebody passed gas. Who passed gas? All the interns up in here. Was that you, Ebony?
No.
Mm-hmm. Sherelle? Sherelle's like, my mic's not
The
on, so it wasn't me.
conversation that you are hearing now is not reflective of the Ray Thomas Variety.
Global peeps. I'm just letting the global peeps know somebody in the studio passed gas and nobody is claiming the flatulation.
You know that.
Somebody flatulated, Tonya. I heard it. It was like,
Okay,
wow.
but no one needs to know that.
I'm just saying, we keeping it
Oh, my
real.
goodness.
Hey, Crystal McLean, how you doing, Crystal? See Crystal laughing. She's like,
Oh my gosh!
mm.
Can I tell you about Crystal? Crystal and her husband Brandon. We're going to be interviewing them today
Okay.
for the Power Play show. So very excited about that.
All right. Okay. All right. So Tonya was asking, how come Sherelle's not on the screen? Hold on. How many cameras? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's me. So I have to get rid of me, and then I'm gonna add Sherelle. But I just wanted to do the intros so I can get back to producing. So can I do what I do?
Yes, sir.
Flat out. Yes, indeed. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our segment number 2 of the program. I'm he that is him, the heavyweight Ray Thomas. We're going to go around the horn with only the people that are on screen. So if you're not on screen, don't say anything. And when we get to you, Kiara, just yell your name. Because we're not going to pass the mic, okay?
Kiara's on the screen. screen.
Yeah,
You
so
mean
she.
Sherelle.
No, I'm talking about Kiara. No, Sherelle will be able to still acknowledge herself because she has the microphone. See, Tonya, there you go again. You attempting to produce. Let me do it. People in the studio know what's going on. You all the way up there in Boston, Massachusetts.
Good looking out, Tonya.
You're welcome. You're welcome, honey.
Oh, it's like that. I see you
That's
guys
what I
are
do.
you guys are forming a bond, huh?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
We are the BT crew.
Yeah. The BT. What does that stand for?
Black turtleneck.
Black turtleneck.
Oh yes, there you go. Team Black Turtleneck.
Ebony, you didn't get the memo, Kiara? You didn't send your video either. You or Ebony. It's 2 dings for the both of y'all for missing your assignments. Altwan, kudo ding for you for getting your assignment. Sherelle, kudo ding for you for doing your assignment. Okay. Just figured I'd do that. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on. Let me see if, you know what? I'm going to get everybody on screen, Tonya, because I just feel woolly like that. Can I be woolly today?
You can be Dinger, you can be Wooly, you can be King Ding, you can be whatever you want to be.
Tonya, I didn't say anything about being ching ding.
You did.
No, I said, can I be woolly? I said, can I be woolly? Woolly.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this right here. And I'm going to see if I can make this happen. I'm going to take care of
While
everybody.
you're doing that, would you like me to talk about what is coming up in the segment, please?
Not really.
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead, Tonya. Go ahead.
No. I'll
go ahead.
wait.
No, go ahead. I
I
have
will be
everything under control.
obedient.
Oh, obedient.
Well, I'm
Look
just
at that.
saying, he, you saw him in the promo.
Mhm.
I had the pleasure of meeting Dante when I came down to Fayetteville, Bronco iRadio to do an interview with the new mayor-elect of Silver Lake, Kia Anderson. So we got a whole
Spring Lake.
bunch of Spring Lake.
Everybody,
What did I
Silver
say?
Lake. Where's Silver Lake? Is that Wisconsin?
Oh, Silver Lake is in Maryland, I think. Sorry,
Wisconsin.
Spring Lake.
Okay. I'm
not
sorry.
from down there, y'all. You guys can forgive me. Anyways, so this is a friend of the show. I can't say old friend because he's still young. Can't call anybody old when they're young, but he is a longtime friend of the Ray Thomas Variety Show Live, Dante Elliott. And let me just read you a little bit about Mr. Elliott. Dante served 5 years in the U.S. Army as a petroleum supply specialist with 1 deployment to Iraq. Dante received a bachelor's degree in digital cinematography and a certification in audio production from Full Sail University. After suffering some years of depression and even suicide contemplation, Dante founded Vivid Culture, and he began volunteering at a gospel radio station in Fayetteville. That led to photography, where he slowly found a love for videography. Vivid Culture soon became Vivid Culture Media Productions, where Dante focuses solely on videography and professional photography. He does music videos. He does it all. He just does it all. And early this year, Dante started his journey as a food vlogger and created Plated Culture. I'm so excited to talk to you about that. All of that, and he is the proud husband and father of 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. God bless your soul. Dante, so wonderful to have you back on the show.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Are you?
Very, very excited.
You feel like a Pointer Sister?
Yeah. I just can't hide it.
Excited. Yo, look at you singing the song. Okay. Kudos, Dante. See?
Yeah.
See, you can tell old school intern, former member of the program, he get down with the get down. All right. So welcome back, D.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And Dante used to have a segment on I Shoot.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But pandemic happened, and and let me clarify this and clear this up real quick, because when the pandemic happened, we did a shift. We did a pivot here on the program, on the Ray Thomas Variety Show. So a lot of the shows that were usually on with me, the segments, we canceled all those because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And and I said that once we get back to a sense of normalcy, then we may revisit that to see if that's what we're going to do. But there are times where, the vision of what you're doing as a program or a show, the vision changes. and then you pivot and you go to new directions. So during the pandemic, T and I, we got together and we said, you know what, we should be doing a show together, because she comes from the world of television, I come from the world of radio, and then we were collaborating on her podcast show, which is the Power Play show. And through that collaboration, we just like, you know what, we should be doing a show together. And so that's what happened. That was the evolution of, the RTVS, hence the Power News Conversations with Ray Thomas and Tonya McGrath. And that's how this show was birthed. So anybody that was doing shows before, there was no slight was intended or anything. And you knew, because I talked to you about that in regards to the direction. And then ultimately we wanted to get back to a space where our students were back on campus, and then we can revisit with the interns. And as you can see, this show has always been about educating our students. This show is about being the example and giving our students an opportunity to be on a program that moves a lot quicker than what they're accustomed to. So hopefully they can get some essentials so then they can go out and do their own shows. So hence that's where we are. So if anybody in the past segments has felt slighted, then I humbly apologize, because there was no slight. There was nothing intentional to say, no, we can't work with you or anything like that. But, we still have protocols here on campus as well, too, in regards to visitors and all that kind of stuff and everything. So anyway, so that is where we are. So long story short, short story long. Hallelujah,
Well,
amen.
That leads to my very first question. And Dante, what have you been doing since the pandemic, and how, you have a beautiful newborn baby. Like I said, you have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. God bless you. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and I have her for 1 day out of the week, and I need 3 days off after that. But how are you? How have you and your family been coping through this pandemic?
I'm good. We're good. Thankfully, work hasn't slowed down that much for Vivid Culture since the pandemic. A little bit, of course, understandably so, but it hasn't slowed down that much. So I've been keeping busy because of the pandemic, which is the reason why Play It Culture was created, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, my family's good. It's just surviving a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. Both of them are silly, have their own type of personalities, and I don't know. Anybody who has kids, I don't really have to explain it. Just by knowing you have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old.
We know. I got a 3-year-old too.
Right. It's not too crazy now. It's more funny and fun because, I don't have bad kids. So we're good.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Remember, Kiara, we told you got to yell now if you're going to speak up now.
The video you posted of your son the other day where he was screaming.
Oh, yeah. If you follow me on Facebook, you get a in-depth look at the life inside my home with a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Including your new dude that you just did a couple of days ago on Facebook.
Mr.
I was
Big
like, okay, in the middle of the night, and he's deciding to shave his head. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So this is something I think I've been growing my hair for the last 4 years, I believe. Until when I met my wife. Before, this is how I used to be before I met my wife. So she's a cosmetologist, so she, convinced me to grow my hair out. So I've been growing out ever since, and I think for the last, say about 5 or 6 months, I've been contemplating just cutting it off, just because I understand women now. Having to get up in the morning and do your hair and having to wrap it up, I get it now. I didn't get it before, but I get it now. So it just got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh. And then my wife, of course, she's my stylist, but she has her own things now, and she's super busy. So I had to learn how to do my own hair, and I mastered the ponytail. So that was my hairstyle every day, the ponytail, nothing else. So literally Sunday night, we spoke about it, and we talked about it for a good 2 hours. And I said, give me 2 weeks and we'll revisit it. And I think I went to the bathroom. I was about to take a shower, and I asked my son, I said, hey, should I cut my hair off, Jelani? He said, yeah, you should. And I was like
he was going to say no.
Right. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. So we did it. And
it's right there on screen, so you guys can actually see it on screen if you are wondering. All those twisties that he had in his hair, and then next thing you know, the big chop happened, and there it is. It's now Brandon is back.
Brandon is back. Yeah, my son looked at me and said, Daddy, you look like Brandon Elliott now. Brandon is my government first name. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I love it, though. I feel better. I feel new. It's still weird because having a ponytail, you know how sometimes you don't want to mess your hair up, so you have to kind of like tap it. I still catch myself doing that even now, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that anymore. So it's an adjustment, having your hair cut off, but I love it.
Yeah, looks good, man. Looks
Well,
good on
I think what's one of the things that resonates with following you on Facebook and your family and everything is just what a great positive space that you seem to be in right now, and really just having this light and this wonderful energy around you. But as I mentioned in your bio, it wasn't always like that. And so, and I think it's important that as much as we can to talk about mental health and talk about what that means. And so if you don't mind, just give us a little bit about some of the struggles, some of the issues that you had with depression, with suicide ideation, and how you came through that.
Okay, so first off, I want to say I want us, especially in the Black community, to normalize therapy. That's something that I never knew. I knew it existed, but I never thought to do it. Back then when I was going through what I was going through, because we in certain families, we grow up and hey, ain't nothing wrong with you. You just crazy.
It's a taboo.
Go pray.
The Christian family, lean on God.
Just go pray and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with prayer, but I'm saying a lot of times it's a lot deeper than that. So, and it was things back then. This is when I was in the military, and I just felt like, looking at it now, I'm like, it really wasn't that serious. But back then, when you're in it, you don't really think about it that way. But I was just going through so much, financially. Thankfully, I wasn't married at the time, but financially and just things dealing with the military. The military was not for me, and I'll be the first to admit that. It's not for everybody. It was not for me, and just dealing with that every day, and then dealing with the financial issues and just other things that came at me. It really sent me into a headspace to where I was ready to just end it, and I'll never forget. I called my grandmother while I was in my car about to go into to do my thing in the military. I called my grandma, and I was just, I was just hysterical, and I was just talking to her. So what surprised me was, normally when you talk to your older family members who are in the church, they'll tell you, just go pray, ain't nothing wrong with you. My grandmother didn't do that. She spoke to me. We talked for a good, I say, hour and a half, 2 hours, and she really talked me down. Not saying I was going to do something at that moment, but I just had it in my mind that whatever's going to happen, I'm going to do it. So she spoke to me, and it really calmed me down. And after that, things started getting a little bit better, and I got out of the military. So life was a whole lot better after that, just because the company I was in and the leadership, it was just, oh my gosh. But I got what I needed out of the military, so I got my schooling, my disability, things like that. So just fast forward to being married. Before my first child was born, I was laid off of my job. I used to work at Verizon Wireless, so I was laid off, and for some crazy reason, my wife and I sat out in the front yard and spoke about having a child, and we were both mutual about it. So we decided that we wanted to have a child. Thinking about it, I don't regret my child, but thinking about it, that decision really wasn't a smart decision at that time. Laid off of my job. My wife was working, thankfully. So I say a good 7 months, my wife was the breadwinner. She was the one paying the bills. And a lot of men won't admit that, but she was. So I was the stay-at-home dad, when he was born. So she was taking care of the bills. During that time, more depression. Now, suicide didn't happen that time, or the suicidal thoughts didn't happen that time, but depression was really tough. A lot of things I dealt with that I didn't even tell my wife. One of the things that I'll never forget is the sheriff coming up to the door and putting that note on the door. The eviction, right. Never forget that. He put it on the door, and he took off, and right when I grabbed it, my wife, she looked and say, hey, who's that? So I had to kind of make up a story in the moment. I had to really mask what I was feeling, because I'm like we about to get put out of our home, and I don't want to tell anybody. So, but thankfully, some things were worked around, and we made it happen. So I wasn't in danger of being evicted anymore. So to answer the question, how did I overcome things? I'm a person who, I don't like to sit down and sulk in my depression and sulk in my bad feelings. I'm a person who, if something's wrong, I get up and I do something about it. I don't just sit back and woe is me, post on Facebook, want people to comment saying, oh, everything's fine. I get up and do something about it. And then I'm a good masker, which is not good for people that are watching. It's not good to mask things. I'm better than I used to be, but I'm a good mask person. I'm a good mask wearer. I'll come in your face and sit in your face, and I'll smile and I'll laugh, and then but not knowing in my life that what's going on right now. So that whole eviction thing, me not being able to find a job for like 8 months, just applying to job after job, which is why I started volunteering at the We Do station. I called up my boy Rashawn Moore, and I said, hey, I just need to do something. I love music. So he said, come and rearrange the music library at the We Do station. So I was doing that for a good two months. And thankfully, that's when I ran into Mr. Wes Cookman, Miss Sandy Cookman, and he took me out to his vehicle and he spoke to me. He said, hey, what's your plan? What do you want to do? I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'm gonna put this in a nutshell so we can kind of hurry up. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So me doing that and him seeing my work ethic, and that's where the photography thing came in at, because you have guests on the show. So somebody there was hyping me up, saying, yeah, he's a photographer, he does video. I had never done photography before. So a coach was on the show and he said, so I would like for you to come out to the game and take some pictures of the team. And me, I'm not going to turn down money. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't own a camera. My wife did, thankfully. So I took my wife's camera and I went out. You would have thought I knew what I was doing though, because I was out there like posing people, and I was all in the grass.
You were doing the African poses?
Yeah.
Like the African photographer poses? Leg all extended?
Yeah. You would have thought I knew what I was doing, but I tell people this all the time, for the first year and a half of me doing Vivid Culture, I never owned my own camera. It was my wife's camera. So to say all of that, what I'm saying is that's how I became or overcame my depression and things like that. I got up and I did something. I could have sat back for more months and woe was me, I don't have a job and stuff, but I decided to volunteer. And thankfully, they were paying me a little something. I didn't ask for it. They did it because they saw how dedicated I was. I got up and I did something, and that's where Vivid Culture happened, and the rest is history.
I think it's so important that you talk about, because oftentimes when we hear about people having some challenges working with depression or anxiety, or even having suicide thoughts and ideation, we don't think about just the pressure. Usually it can come from something that may have happened in their lives, or some kind of abuse or something, but we don't talk about the pressure that we feel. And, so I'm really glad that you shared that, because I think that that's going to really help people, is to know that, it's normal to feel that level of pressure, particularly around financial issues, particularly when you have a young child and you could possibly lose your home, particularly as a man. And we shouldn't sweep this under the rug either, particularly as a man who has to rely on their spouse or on their wife to be the breadwinner. So that's a lot of pressure, and I'm so glad that you were able to get through that. And in spite of all that, I want to now talk about this, because I'm so excited about this new part of your journey, and this is the unbelievable plated culture. Talk to me about that, because I started in nutrition, and I brought all my notes to talk to you about it, but I started a nutrition plan about 3 weeks ago, and I'm already down 7 pounds, and I'm ecstatic about that. But talk to me about plated culture.
Oh, man. So the funny thing about plated culture is I love to eat. Like that's no secret. And before, the way you see me now, before I actually went through transformation program with my family, Anthony Hill and Shantae Hill, where I lost weight and really rearranged my whole lifestyle. So from that, just my love for food, I love, my family cooks. I come from a cooking family, so I love to cook. I love to go out and eat places, but I just never thought to document it and share my experience. So I would always do it unofficially, but during this pandemic, of course, when Vivid Culture wasn't really popping, I had to create something. So I decided to get a stabilizer with my phone and go out to restaurants, and I started vlogging about it and talking about it, and I saw the reaction that it got from a lot of people, because we all want to know the places to go eat, especially when we go out of town, and especially here, because in Fayetteville, I'd say in the last couple of years, we've gotten a lot of good restaurants that a lot of people don't even know about, because they don't advertise themselves. So, I feel like it's my job to help them out and push them out there. So that's pretty much how Plated Culture, got started. I actually called up Tiffany Haywood with my idea, and she helped me choose the name Plated Culture. We were kind of playing around with names, and I was like, I don't know what I should choose, but that's how they got created. But it's just a love for food, a love for cooking. You know, I go out to restaurants, I have my phone, I just record the experience. I want to show the experience of the restaurant. Now, one thing I don't do, I never talk about the bad experiences. I'm just not that person. I don't want to go online and be like, oh, this was terrible. I only show the good stuff. So if I went to your restaurant
and you haven't seen the footage, you know what time it is.
That means it wasn't good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We can have a conversation after the fact. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to put anybody out there because, everybody has bad days, and everybody has different taste buds. Yeah. So what might have been bad for me might be good for other people. So I only showed the things that I enjoyed. And that's how Play the Culture got started, and it's really growing because I'll tell people this, before I started doing this, I would always go places. Everywhere I go, I have my camera. When I would go to restaurants with my camera, I think the managers or whoever would see it and they'd be like, oh man, he has a camera. He's either a food critic or something. Mm-hmm. When I tell you I get like 5-star treatment when I go into these restaurants with my camera, free appetizers, free entrees, I'm telling you,
I need to start doing that. I gotta start doing that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, hopefully I'm not kicking myself in the butt, but when other photographers that I know, I tell them, like, just take your camera with you. Like, you never know, because I'll sit at the table and when I see somebody getting their food on, a basic plate or whatever, they bring my stuff out on cutting boards and with candles and stuff, just so I can get, good photos and things like that. So I'm like, oh man. So I just decided to do it officially. So I took my Instagram, my personal Instagram, and I repurposed it to Play the Culture. So now, that's the house for all that stuff. And I cook as well. So it's not only restaurant stuff on the page, it's also things that I cook as well. I show the experience of me cooking stuff as well.
What's your favorite type of food?
That's awesome. Listen, I want to continue this conversation, but I'm going to just do a quick little, a quick little side note right here so that I can just promote a couple of things that are coming up because I want to just get this in before the 2 o'clock hour. And so, Ray, you just let me know if you're ready for me to jump in.
Well, you already jumped in, T.
I did jump in, I know.
So Dante, you'll tell us about your favorite food later.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but T's on a deadline, so T can bounce out and we can still continue on with the program. So we're going to make sure that she stays on task. So right now, your focus, Tonya, it's all on you. Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So listen, as you all know, that I am in development of our second film, Hubei Productions' second film, More Than Our Skin. This film is focusing on the lives of 5 women, telling their journeys about what it means to live with vitiligo. Some had issues of depression, suicide ideation, isolation, those type of things. And we're really just bringing to light this important story. And on top of that, we are raising money in a very interesting way. We have a fantastic raffle going on now through November 30th. Yes, we have 4 amazing prizes, and we have one of the women featured in the film, Patricia Rossi, who is going to tell us about this raffle. And let's listen to this exciting news.
Hi everyone. My name is Patricia Rossi. One of the 5 women who is featured in the upcoming documentary, More Than Our Skin. This documentary is about living with vitiligo. Yes, I know, I'm here, but I'm excited to share with you some exciting news about our kick-off rally event, which is starting as you listen to this until November the 30th. So, to let you know, we have 4, when I say 4, great giveaways to offer with all, when I say all the proceeds going to the production of the film. You want more information, right? Well, for more information, please go to morethanourskin.org/raffle. And then you can find out about the exciting prizes that are being offered for the raffle. Great prizes, all for a great cause. you don't want to miss it. So, just in case you did miss it, it's morethanourskin.org/raffle. Hope to see the winning person. Thank you. We can use your help. morethanourskin.org.
Oh no, isn't she such a beautiful lady? So yes, morethanourskin.org/raffle. Tickets are going, 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for $10, or you can get 5 tickets for $20. These are some really great prizes. We have Christmas coming up. If you want, we have some stuff for the ladies. We got some gift cards for the men, like Home Depot, Bass Pro, and I think Dick's Sporting Goods. So there's something for everyone. We got some clothing in there. We got a handmade blanket in there. And if you're living in the Massachusetts area and you pick box number 4, you get to have a salon treatment with my daughter, my talented colorist and hairstylist, Ashley Collins. So great tickets for a great cause, morethanourskin.org/raffle. And also, if you go to the website, you can just learn more about the film, the stories that we intend to tell. You can watch some of the trailers that we've already produced. And you can also make a donation to the making of the film. You can do all of that on the website at morethanourskin.org. And finally, I just wanted to announce the Power Play show, which is coming up tomorrow. We have a new episode that comes out every Thursday on the powerplayshow.com. And we are talking to, and he was on our show last week, Brandon and Crystal McLean. They're going to discuss their new book, their work with the youth, and what's next in this McLean household. This is a young power couple, and I'm so excited about what they're doing in ministry, what they're doing in the world. And so you're going to be able to listen to this podcast on the powerplayshow.com, wherever you subscribe to podcasts, including iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora Podcasts. Now we're even on Amazon Music. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel. Just simply search the Whole Bay Productions Media channel and be sure to subscribe. So anytime we go live, you have a notification that a new podcast is up. And we air right here on BroncoEyeRadio.com each Saturday at 5 p.m. So there's so many ways to catch the Power Play show. Whether you are streaming on a podcast service, whether you're watching us on YouTube, or right here on BroncoEyeRadio.com, or you can always just visit thepowerplayshow.com. So excited about the McLeans. So excited to have them on.
Yeah, they are definitely a nice young up and coming couple. I dinged myself right there.
I just want to say, Patricia Rossi also is tuning in. She did a shout out. She said, "Hey,
Pat.
I'm here from New York."
How you doing, Pat? Up there in New York, Brooklyn's in the house.
New York.
Yes,
New
indeed.
York.
Also, let me do this because you probably won't do it, Tonya, but I'm going to shout out your hubby as well too. There he is on screen, the one and only Gregory McGrath, who is the man behind the scenes that does a lot of the stuff for Hull Bay Productions as well too. Yes, indeed, and they're a big supporter of the RTVS Live, so wanted to shout out your hubby as well as the company. All right, there you have it.
Did he turn on the heat?
Did who turn on the heat? Oh yeah, yeah. Did he turn on the heat,
Yes.
Tonya?
Oh my gosh, Kiara, thank you for follow up. Yes. Yes, my heat is on. He came home that day and he showed me some grace. He was just like, he didn't say, I told you so. Like, you know what? He's like, I should have turned it on for you because I knew you would be cold. So I'm sorry. And he apologized to me. So yeah, he's amazing. But yes, my heat is on. I am nice and toasty and warm. Thank you, Kiara, for thinking about me and caring about my wellness.
Yeah, definitely so. All right, good stuff.
So listen, the interns, you guys were awesome today. Ebony, Sherelle, Antoine, Kiara, thank you so much. Dante, I will continue to listen to you as you all finish this interview, but I got to run. But, good
You
luck
ain't got to run, but you sure got to get out of here, girl. All right, Tonya with the good light. We'll see you next week, T. All right, so there you have it. Yes, indeed. All right, so back to you, Dante. So obviously, Kiara said.
My favorite type of food to cook. So, steak.
Like when you first made it, and you were just like, I can cook, I can do this. Like, what was the plan?
Oh wow, shoot. I'd say steak. Yeah,
steak man, huh?
How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium. Yeah, ribeye steaks. I love going and buying them fresh. So my favorite thing to eat are burgers. Like everywhere I go, I try to find the best burger place, or I attempt to find the best burger place when I go out of town.
Mm-hmm.
So burgers, steaks, and lamb chops.
Lamb chops.
That's my favorite thing.
Silence of the lamb.
What was your all-time favorite restaurant that you have been to, especially during the pandemic? Like, what was
all-time favorite?
Yeah.
Like here or anywhere?
Fayetteville.
Here in Fayetteville? Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. My all-time favorite
yourself.
here in Fayetteville, circa 1800, downtown on Person Street, I believe. It's more like Southern but upscale, so more upscale Southern. Me and my wife and I's favorite thing to eat from there are their Southern rolls. It's an egg roll with collard greens. It's something that I can't remember what else is in there.
Stuffed egg roll?
Wow.
Yeah, stuffed egg roll. Awesome. So circa 1800 is my favorite. Now my second favorite, and I just went to this place, Afghan Kebab on Rayford Road. Lamb chops. So if you're looking for some good lamb chops, Afghan Kebab, Olea Mediterranean on Scalbo, or Agora downtown. So just, if you want to know where to eat in Fayetteville, just hit me up. I can take care of it.
I need to know.
Yeah. But steak is definitely my favorite thing to cook. I sear it on the stovetop first and then put it in the oven. Mm-hmm.
Do you use like a certain type of seasoning sauce? Or?
Salt and pepper.
That's it.
Salt, pepper, and butter. Salt, pepper, butter,
The group?
thyme. Salt,
No
pepper,
Spinderella?
Right. Salt, pepper, butter, thyme, and minced garlic. That's what I use. Mm-hmm. Simple, but it's effective. You got to just know what you're doing. Yeah. Okay.
Can we continue on, please?
Yes.
Do not be distracted. We're focused here on the show. We're doing a show. That's what we're focused on. We're talking to Dante, not anything else. As you were.
Yeah. Now I do love spaghetti. I know spaghetti is a thing. Now I know the way I do it may not be the traditional or the
how you do it. I need to know.
Is
it sugar? Cause
I don't do sugar, but I do grape jelly.
I do honey. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do honey in mine.
So pretty much, you do the noodles the normal way. Salt the water, boil the noodles. Now the sauce I use, I think it's Rao's or Rao, R-A-O. Rayo.
Oh, I know.
I never say it the right way, but that's the sauce that I use, and I do ground beef, pepperonis, and meatballs, and I just cook it all up together, and then I put the grape jelly in the sauce while it's cooking, mix it all in, and I do not add the sauce and the noodles in the same pot. No.
So you don't do baked spaghetti?
I do. I love baked spaghetti. My aunt makes baked spaghetti. I don't really do it that well, but I eat it when she makes it. I can do the regular way, but no, I don't agree with people who put the sauce and
the noodles together.
Yeah.
Okay. So your wife, Kristra Lowry Elliott, says pimento cheese was in the role in red pepper jelly.
Yes,
I think
pimento cheese and red pepper jelly.
Remembered. Yes, indeed.
So good. You got to try it.
Straight.
Yeah.
Keeping you straight.
Definitely.
All right.
And then, of course, breakfast. Breakfast is one of my favorite things to cook as well. Grits. People think grits is simple, but it's an art.
Okay, so that's the ultimate question then, as you are talking about grits, young man. So is it salt or is it sugar?
Salt.
Okay.
Salt, pepper, butter, and heavy whipping cream.
Just checking, man. Because the people wanted to know.
Yeah.
The whipping cream is something new to me. I never heard of that one.
Heavy whipping cream, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. Game changer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do sugar in the grits. I mean, I know, like my grandmother. I think back in their day, that's what they used to do. But nah, we don't do the sugar.
I like sugar.
You like sugar?
Grits, yeah.
I would. I've never tried it. I would try it.
Well, let me say this because I'm from Jamaica. So obviously in Jamaica we made porridge. You know what porridge is, right?
Yes.
Cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat. Yeah, but it's still
the three little bears.
No, so I like my porridge sweet. So I've always liked that. So when I came over to the States and I had grits, it was just bland, and to me that was nasty.
Right.
I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
So, but now I've learned how to eat it differently as well too, because obviously here in the South, a lot of people eat grits, right? So you can put eggs with your grits.
Yes.
You can add butter with your grits, you know, and even just having the butter with the grits, I can do that.
Yeah.
Without the sugar, you know, but butter with the grits and the sugar.
It's cream of wheat
It's
now. It's no longer grits.
and,
It's no longer grits.
and cheese too.
I don't know why she's. Do you know why she's whispering? She's all whispering.
It's sour now. So speak up, girl. Speak up. Stop being so soft spoken.
All right, so all right. In what you do with Vivid Culture Media Productions, it covers how many different facets of mediums? Because it's not just one. That's why it's media productions, because you do a variety of things.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, but now you want people to know you for what specifically? But you do have the skill sets to do a lot of other things. So, answer those two questions.
Okay. The facets it covers, we do, of course, video. We do photos. Video-wise, commercials, promo videos, recap videos, interviews. So that recap videos means if you have an event, I come out, I capture it, and then I put together a recap so people can see, you know, what happened during the event.
Right.
Photography-wise, before I was doing it all. I was doing portraits and birthdays and graduation, all of that stuff. I've scaled it down drastically, and now I only do professional headshots and food photography now. Okay. So second question, what I want to be known for is the video portion of what I do, because you know that's what I have more of a love for, if I can say that. I love doing headshots, of course, food photography, because that goes in with my plated culture, but video wise, I'm more creative with video. So interviews, commercials, promos, recaps. That's what I want to be known for, and
that's where you have your degree in cinematography.
Exactly.
As well.
That's where I have my degree in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So big shout outs to Full Sail.
Full Sail University. Yes, that was a good.
Figured I'd give them a shameless plug. Maybe they might send you a MacBook or something.
Right. Even though I didn't get to walk across the stage because of COVID, but you know.
Well, yeah. So let me ask you this. And maybe some of the interns wanted to ask you the same question, but I asked it before them because I was quicker to the draw. Bang, bang. So what was your pivot moment during the pandemic?
Oh, man. You mean as far as me?
Yeah, because I tell everybody that during the pandemic, I pivoted.
Right.
Because I got a message from the Lord. He was like, it's time for you to pivot. And that's why I explained earlier in regards to the show that there was a pivot, a new shape or a new direction that the show needed to go in. So obviously during the pandemic.
Yeah, my pivot happened when I was overwhelmed. Okay. And overwhelmed, one, and number two, when I started dreading certain gigs and certain clients. Not the client, just the work that had to be done as far as photography. So that was my pivot. I'm not gonna say the specific one because I don't want to make it seem like it was their fault. But
they're gonna call you later.
Exactly. So, but it was to the point to where, you know, everything was booked the day of, and I was sitting back thinking like, what can I do to either postpone this or not do it at all? So that was my pivot when it became too much, because when you're working for yourself, you're working a 9 to 5, you're working for other people. You're on their clock, you're doing what they need you to do. When you're working for yourself, every day you pretty much have a blank canvas every day. So every day is what you make it. So when I started realizing that I had that same chain as a 9 to 5, like I felt like I was working a 9 to 5. That was my pivot. Like, nah, because this is my brand, this is my business. So I'm in control of what I do and what I don't do. So that was my pivot moment when that client, where I realized this is too much. I don't want to do this. That was my pivot. So that's why I scaled it down, and now I'm doing these particular services and these particular services. Yeah.
As I look around, nobody has nothing. So
you said you don't do graduation photos anymore, but
not anymore.
With the videos, do you do like? I've seen graduation videos. Now, would you do something to that nature?
Yeah, I'm definitely a behind the scenes videographer. Okay. I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm about to repurpose my Vivid Culture page actually, just to showcase what I do now, because I really want one of my main things to be a behind the scenes videographer. So photographers who have clients, let me come and capture your behind the scenes. Right. Because as a photographer, I have to do my own behind the scenes, and it's a lot, you know, that way people can see, you know, how you got the shot. You know, you've seen the videos of people showing the camera and things like that. So that's what I want to market. One of the things I want to market is to be a behind the scenes. So graduation shoots and everything.
Gotcha.
Let me capture the behind the scenes of it. I don't want to do the actual pictures.
Right.
Behind the scenes, even weddings. Weddings is another beast as far as videography is concerned.
Because you only have one opportunity to get it right.
One shot.
Because if you don't get it right, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
And that could be very costly.
Yeah.
And there's no redos.
Yeah. I just recently had a shout out to Janine Ackles and her husband, Charles Dublin. You know, they got married.
Congratulations on their nuptials.
Yeah. They got married last month, I believe. So I filmed their wedding, and yeah, the pressure was on. It was one shot. Thankfully, they loved it. You know, I don't know when they're gonna post it, but they loved it. But yeah, weddings is another one of those things. You know, but I'm saying all that to say, if you go out and decide to do your own thing, you have to be great at one thing first, because that's where I messed up beginning. I tried to do everything. And it became overwhelming. So be great at one thing. So I'm being great at commercials. I'm being great at behind the scenes. I'm being great at food now. So I'm focusing on one thing, doing that. Then I'm gonna go to the next thing. So
So you're building your foundation. Is that what you're telling the interns?
Yes, build your foundation.
Yeah. Sounds like familiar conversation. I'm just saying.
And there's nothing wrong with repurposing. If you already have something established, there's nothing wrong with. But just make sure if you repurpose it, you have the content to back up what you're doing. Don't just say, I want to do food, but you've never posted a food picture, Have the content to back it up.
So Tracy McDonald says, thanks for your service, GPP. I don't know what that means. I think that was for you, because you were the one in the service.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, it was a later comment. I just want to put that out there for you. So just in case.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let me go over to Zamunda, Miss Anderson. Did you have any news for us today?
Did I have any news for you guys? I mean, besides...
Or did you already do it?
Yeah, the Boston historic...
Okay, so that was all you had. I just thought that you might have had a newscast or something like that you wanted to interject.
I do have a upcoming thing I want to announce.
Yes, of course, Dante. This is all about you, man. This is your segment.
Officially, unofficially. So,
okay.
Should I say the name? Maybe not. I won't say the name, but we have something in the works. It's called Food and Fashion.
Okay.
So, and we've attempted to look up examples, and there's not really examples of it. So we're pretty much creating a market now, which is very exciting. So we get to create, the blueprint for it. Okay. So pretty much Food and Fashion is we're going to go to restaurants, which is what I already do, but we're going to incorporate fashion. So the person that's doing this with me, she's the fashion person. She has a stylist. She's gonna wear certain outfits that coincide with certain restaurants, and we're gonna do pictures and video to help advertise for the restaurant, of course, and advertise for her modeling and her fashion as well. So Food and Fashion. So look out.
It's a win for everybody, right?
Exactly.
That's different. I like it.
So look out for that. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, because once again, if you want to do headshots, you can go on Pinterest and look up millions of headshots, just to get examples. But we don't have examples of this, so we are pretty much creating it. So it's exciting.
I just got it, Tracy McDonald, Grandpa George. That's her granddaddy. He probably said, "Baby, now I told you to talk into that microphone. Stop being shy." He doesn't sound like that, does he? He impersonate me, but I don't sound like that, do I, baby? All right, Grandpa George, we always appreciate you coming on and supporting his grandbaby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, let me take him off the screen. All right, so if you could give the interns any advice, because obviously you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own business, you're doing your own thing. So words of advice or encouragement in regards to if they have aspirations of doing their own thing or getting to that certain ultimate goal or career opportunity. What would that be?
My first piece of advice would be get a mentor. Don't jump into something, because it's just like teaching yourself how to play piano. Don't jump into it. If you don't know how to play it, you're going to frustrate yourself, and you're not going to want to do it anymore. Get a mentor. Mr. RayTHOMAS is my mentor. Like, I get kicked in the butt all the time. And I'm a thick-skinned person, so that's the way I like it given to me. But get you a mentor. That's number one. Somebody who's great at what you want to do. Shadow, intern, all of that. So that's why I was an intern here on the show. So that'd be my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice would be to just be hungry. be hungry. Don't jump into something because it's you feel good at that moment. You know, you go outside and see somebody in a motorcycle, all of a sudden you want to, you know, ride motorcycles. You know, be hungry about it. When you do it, commit to it, and do it. I'll give you an example. This food thing. I'm not just going to restaurants. As I said before, I cook as well. So when I'm at home, before I cook, before I prep, because you know, food prep is a whole beast in itself. I'm setting up my cameras and my lights because I know I'm going to film. Be hungry about it, and I'm doing it every meal, no matter how small, no matter how big, I'm doing it every single meal.
Consistency, yeah.
Because be consistent. That was gonna be my next one. Be consistent. Be hungry, because nobody should have to make you do what you love to do. Nobody should have to pump and prime you. You know, if it's what you love to do, then you should be doing it no matter what. If you're a singer, people should be telling you to be quiet. If you're a singer, you should just be singing all the time. So just be hungry and be consistent at what you do, and get a mentor. That's the number one thing.
Words of advice from Dante.
Oh, and don't be scared to say no.
Yeah.
No is good. All money isn't good money. I learned that. I learned that the hard way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because you don't want, like I said, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. This is your brand. This is what you created. So when it starts becoming overbearing, then you got to switch up the program. You know, don't let other people, you know, bring you down, because this is your baby, this is your creation.
Yeah.
So
good words of advice right there from Dante Elliott, our guest today in segment number 2. So that's the show, man.
That's the show.
You don't have anything else that you want to share? Oh, by the way, in your honor, you saw him wearing the BFAT.
BFAT.
You know, hoodie. So you want to tell the folks a little bit about BFAT?
I'm glad you did that, because I totally forgot to mention this. For those who might have noticed, my website's not up anymore. So there were some technical issues going on, but in those technical issues, I just decided that I'm just gonna repurpose again. So I'm repurposing. So I'm talking to Tiffany. Okay. We're gonna repurpose again. So you're gonna see the BFAT, which BFAT stands for Black Fathers Are There. I had a situation, you know, with family a while back, and that really birthed BFAT, because, you know, as Black fathers, there's a stigma at saying we're not there, we're not in our kids' lives, you know, and that doesn't apply to everyone, because I make it my business to raise my children, you know, be there. So I just see, as far as child support, custody, just a whole bunch of nastiness in the system, and it's not really favored in fathers, in the way of fathers. So I created that brand to let people know that, you know, we're still here. We still love our kid. It doesn't even have to be your child. You can be a godfather. You can be an uncle, you know, just things like that. A grandfather, you know, as long as you are impacting somebody's life. That's what BFAT is. But I said all that to say this: I'm doing a huge repurposing of my website, and once that's done, BFAT will be on there, available to purchase again, hoodies and shirts and hats and other things like that. So we're just doing a huge rebranding. Shout out to Miles Carter. He's now creating my Plate It Culture logo. Okay. So that's going to be on the Vivid Culture site as well. So it's a huge project that is just in the works right now.
And former member of BronkRideRadio.com as well too.
Definitely.
When he says Miles Carter as well too. So yeah, he's doing great things.
He's doing
graduate of Fayetteville State University.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He sent me what he has so far, and I'm like, okay, he's doing pretty good.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to the wife who's watching, and
hey, Kristra,
and Jelani and Zuri, my 2 kids.
Yeah. Now you know. Let me go ahead and pop something up real quick. But before I do that, let me say Tracy McDonald says, very intelligent young man. Keep up with what you're doing. You're a great speaker. Speaker up, building talk to young individuals. I don't know. Okay, you didn't formulate that sentence correctly there, Tracy, but I understand what you're saying.
Thank
so
you.
Continue to uplift,
Thank you, Tracy.
you know, our future. So yes, Tracy McDonald. Can you woo woo woo? All right, sorry. All right, so let me go ahead and pop this photo up, because when you had little Zuri, you had sent out a photo, and obviously we celebrated here on the program. And I don't know if you watched that day, but
I did.
We celebrated, you know, because we had that photo, and I know you didn't know we were going to do it.
Yeah.
But I figured I would do it anyways, because that's how I get down. So hold on, I'm attempting to find this photo of the millions of things that's on my actual tablet here. Here we go. So I'm going to take myself off screen momentarily, and bam, There is Zuri.
There she is.
And now it's Halen, right?
Yep. Helen. Zuri Helen.
Okay, Helen. Okay, Helen. All right.
Yeah,
Elliot.
We made sure that we gave both our kids names that symbolize their African culture and their Native American.
American.
So
Okay, yeah.
Each one of them, their first and last name is African and Native American.
Okay. Nice, good stuff. And just in case you guys don't know, let me show you her now, because obviously she's not that young anymore,
and not that small either.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and pop up this little headshot right there.
She is chunky.
She's a cutie pie. Yeah.
Rolls,
definitely so.
Rolls for days.
Yeah. So there she is, and then also we can't forget about, because he said, Mr. Ray didn't even put me on screen, Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, Jelani.
Yeah,
got you covered, Jelani. Got you covered.
Jelani, he's a entire, just another world. I can't even explain. You just have to watch my Facebook.
Yeah.
To know what I'm talking about.
So definitely so, man. So continue to do what you do, man, and also he is a volunteer here at the radio station as well too, over our photography and videography department as well too. So Dante is in here on a regular basis when he can make it in, if he's not too busy. So that's a shout out to our very own Antoinette, who Altuan. Antoinette, yes indeed. So she can get some good information.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So who's moving off screen?
Birthday's coming
Is
up.
somebody moving off screen?
My birthday's coming up Monday.
Cheryl, why are you off screen? Okay, but
I've been trying to get
you know, there's protocol. There's protocol. I mean, you know, y'all see I have an empty camera over there, y'all. So Kiara, just go ahead and jump into that. People just. There's etiquette here.
Mr. Thomas.
I'm like, my God.
The picture you popped up of Jelani in the shirt, just a quick plug here. Krista has now jumped into the world of embroidery and sewing.
Okay.
So she actually created that J-Rex shirt.
Okay.
She does skirts and things like that. So that's something that's coming out as well.
Okay, good stuff right there.
But yeah,
man.
got a birthday coming up Monday.
Hey.
I'm gonna be 32 Monday.
Yeah, she just want to jump off screen.
32 years old Monday.
Man, no.
I got a birthday on the 22nd too, so shout out to November.
That's right. I wish I had a cool like RayTHOMAS thing, but my name in November doesn't sound right, so it's just November.
Wow. So let me fix this screen, man, because she got one of my cameras all empty. Just rude. It's just, man. Okay. My gosh. See how they just put a monkey wrench into everything.
Do you have a TikTok too?
I do, but I don't. I post my food stuff, but I usually use TikTok just to laugh. I don't really post anymore. Yeah. It's just entertainment for me.
Okay. All right. Well, we got you back on screen, and I actually I hope the food that I just posted on screen is actually your food.
Me too.
You're like, no, that's not mine. That's not mine. I ain't made that. Hold on a second. Let me get that off so that they can actually see that is one of your plated foods. Yeah. So
that's Afghan kebab. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted folks to see some of the photography that you do. Now let me show them some headshots as well too. So I'm gonna pop this in there.
Oh yeah, go ahead and throw yours up there.
No, I'll throw mine up later.
The best one.
Yeah. No, but we do a lot of work together, man.
Yeah.
But, I'm gonna drop myself right in there. Yeah.
When Mr. Thomas gets in front of the camera, like I'm not lying. Like this is my easiest client ever, because like he knows what to do. I don't have to be like, hey, I need you to turn. He just does it, and I just snap. So no cap.
Yes,
like
indeed.
seriously.
So yeah, so if you're looking to get your headshots done or anything like that, make sure you make your way out to Vivid Culture Media Productions, and then here's the man behind the scenes in the studio right there, because you also have a home studio as well too.
That's right.
You know, and so you guys can book Dante in Vivid Culture Media Productions as well too. And then once again, let's go back to the big chop. He had hair, now no hair.
No hair at all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Christian said, I feel like I got my man back.
Oh.
Of how I was before, like when we got married. This is how I look.
Well, you better be careful. Don't let baby number 3 happen.
Let me say this in the camera.
You gonna look into the camera?
When I tell you I am done with no more kids.
Does your wife want more kids?
No. I don't think so, but
I don't think so.
I don't think it's her decision.
No right now.
It's not her decision anymore. It's my decision now. No more.
Like, my decision.
I love the 2 that I have. No more.
Oh man.
What's going in?
Yes, indeed. All right. And Chris just like, hey, LOL. That is too much. All right. Well, Dante, as always, man, thank you for stopping through, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to leave you guys with a song. And I just need to figure out which song it is that I actually want to play before we get up out of here. I'm going to play something new from my little bro, Breeze, featuring Brooklyn Cole. It's called With You. And we're going to leave you with that. And so as we go around the horn for the intern,
Altoine Andrews.
The intern, Ebony Lawson.
The intern, Kiara West.
And the intern, Sherelle, I have no respect for the camera, Anderson, because I have to go and pick up my babies, and that's more priority than the show. And also for Tonya with the good light, Tonya McGrath. This is Ray Thomas. In Your Face is not my place, just in your ear and on your radio until we do it again next Wednesday. Make sure you tell the ones that you love them while you still got them around, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right. Kiaka Hana Kiaka means I'm always thinking about you. Until then, we say peace, love, and hair grease. It's the bean, the bridge of the bay. It's a B. Don't get it twisted. Bye-bye. Be blessed, everybody. We out of here.
Boy, you are a planet very far away. Trying to reach you out in time and space. But I feel you. I feel you.
Girl, you are a lone star. Your light shines the brightest. And I don't need a telescope to see you. No, girl, I see you. There's more to tell. Let me reveal the way I feel. You take me away to another place, even when it seems like you're 1,000 miles away. In your own galaxy, I need to be with you. I'll find my way to you. I need to be with you. I'm online now. You got me counting clouds.